Hailing from one of the wealthiest and most notorious families in D.C., Todd Hitt had a reputation that preceded him. The Hitts were already a local staple. Known as one of Washington's wealthiest construction dynasties, the Hitt family had been in charge of building many architectural gems throughout the city. The Downtown W Hotel, the Glenstone Museum, and part of the National Park. His family heritage dated back to 1937. When his grandparents launched their business firm in Arlington at their dinner table. After that, his father, Russell Hitt, took the company to new heights and turned it into one of the most profitable contracting companies in the U.S. His rise up the ranks was a bit unusual. He didn't start working with his family's business right away. According to the Washingtonian, Todd Hitt created his own home building business working on projects based in North Arlington, where he grew up. A few years went by and his company disappeared. He then became a soccer coach. That's when he decided to turn his life around aggressively. He even went as far as publicly saying he had a degree from Wharton to create this illusion of a successful businessman. By the time he turned 49, Hitt started what would be his first major real estate deal, developing a forgotten area in the city for prime real estate. At the time, the only thing standing in that area was an Applebee's. He made the weird transition from soccer coach to real estate developer in no time. Hitt made sure the local news were informed about it and started getting news articles written about his astonishing project and daring business venture. Knowing how to work people your way is the secret to success in the business world. This is a skill that Hitt knew very well, as he used it to his advantage to scam his way into success by using Washington, D.C.'s elite as his personal checkbook. It wasn't long before he was discovered, but he made sure everyone believed he was a prominent businessman in the process. Within just a few short years, Hitt was able to establish himself in the game. He created Kiddar Capital, an equity business with which he approached DC's highest elite to convince them to invest in his projects. Hitt became known for his relaxed yet overly confident approach to friends and acquaintances. Dinner and drinks would be paid and his family name would be tossed around as a way to gain future investors' trust. Hitt made them believe he was investing his own pocket into the project, while in reality, he was putting in way less than he told his investors. By stating he had skin in the game, investors felt their money was being taken care of by someone who managed the project with the required seriousness. Kiddar Capital began to grow quickly. The company was investing millions in several projects in the area, including a $6 million deal in a plot of land where the Silver Line metro stop would be built. Hitt made sure his team was living the big life. During sport matches, he would fly his team to different cities and get them thousands of dollars worth of wardrobe. Interestingly, his team didn't seem to be as experienced. Most of the team was comprised of 20 to 30-year-olds with little to no knowledge in investment. The majority came from a marketing background. Half of the company worked in marketing, including two of Hitt's daughters. Hitt made sure he was marketing the company in the big leagues. He even went as far as saying they had offices in London and Palm Springs, which was obviously not the case. All of this as a strategy to pull in more investors. Given his lack of business knowledge, it comes as no surprise Hitt started using the company's projects as his personal bank. There were clients he refused to invest with once he had originally signed deals because he was simply not interested. Turns out he had spent all the investors' money. He had raised an additional $8 million for the Silver Line project, but most of it went to pay his astonishing credit card bills that included over $85,000 in private jet trips, almost $60,000 in jewelry from Bulgari, and close to $13,000 in luxury hotel bills. Hitt knew how to work people in DC. Charity galas and non-profit events became his go-to so he could approach the city's elite. He turned himself into a philanthropist in the blink of an eye. These events became the best opportunity he and his team had to network and make profitable business connections. His Kiddar after-hour parties were the perfect opportunity to shake hands with some of the most influential people in the city. The exclusive celebration was held at the Georgetown Four Seasons and was filled with tech executives and real estate connoisseurs. Hand-rolled cigars and ultra-expensive champagne were handed by models, a lavish display of his ambition. Hitt made sure everybody knew he had become a charity benefactor. The press would be present at all of his events. On one occasion, he was invited to Hope Multiplied's annual charity gala and the intention of becoming one of the nonprofit's main benefactors. Hitt pledged to make a donation of $50,000, and after being told that most donations were usually anonymous, he told the director to make it public to the audience. Many well-known DC philanthropists were very surprised with Hitt's rapid rise in the press. He was even included in a 2018 philanthropy issue of Washington Life magazine. According to a report by the Washingtonian, other prominent Prominent local figures who were included on the magazine's issue weren't even aware of his existence and stated they were surprised with his presence and sudden popularity. Hitt's business dealings were starting to garner an infamous reputation. Back in 2016, Kiddar Capital was in the middle of a $2 million disbursement for an investment in Aquacore, a tech startup. After paying only the first half of their financial obligation, Hitt called in to say they were no longer going to pay the rest of the money. Although an agreement had been established, Hitt backed out at the last minute, stating he just had a change of mind, something highly uncommon in the venture capital world. A lot of investors were already suspicious about his attitude, mainly because of his relative inexperience in the game. This confirmed it. Aquacore didn't request the money again. As with many business-obsessed people, Hitt's manners left a lot to be desired, and according to many accounts from Hitt's past as a soccer coach, his temper was nothing less than extreme. Lindsey Bowers, a former player who at the time was only a teenager, reported Hitt had been verbally abusive to her. During a practice, Bowers was joking with a fellow teammate when Hitt approached her and insulted her aggressively. This wasn't a standalone event. He was reported to have threatened another kid on his team with knocking his teeth off and sending him to the hospital after he thought the teen had rolled his eyes at him. After Bowers made a formal complaint with the Virginia Youth Soccer Association, Hitt was punished and suspended from coaching for 6 months. After this, he came back as if nothing happened. Many believed it was his connections that allowed to get such a low punishment. His personal life also became a source of confusion for his employees. His wife Susan would drop by the office, and only minutes later, after she left, his mistress Michelle Donisky would be seen entering the company. Their affair had become a known secret for everyone in the company. The fact that Nasky was in the middle of her divorce from her former partner made it even weirder. Added to this, Hitt was problematic with the company's payroll. On many occasions, payment would be delivered a few days later, but sometimes they wouldn't even get paid. Employees at Kiddar wouldn't receive their payment and have to wait for next month's payment to get a double salary as compensation. Many workers reported Hitt would simply disappear during these periods. Hitt's behavior had turned the work environment into something truly bizarre. For months, he had been parading around galas and events like the White House Correspondents' Dinner and was seen constantly speaking about the new strategies he had in mind to take the company to the next level by taking in government funds. Hitt hired 2 new employees who were tasked with turning the company into an SEC-compliant firm and started getting directly funded by the government. After only a month, both employees simply disappeared. Turns out, these 2 new employees had alerted authorities of Hitt's shady dealings after he refused to show them the company books. According to the Washingtonian, the employees found that Hitt had forged the company's numbers, so it appeared Kiddar had $14 billion in assets, when in reality, they only had $27 million. Right after this, the lawyers had stormed the office and started backing up the company's computers. Hitt was charged with 8 counts of securities fraud. Once he was charged, his family came to the rescue, in their own particular way. Various family members sent a number of letters to the judge asking for a softer trial or conviction. One of his sisters, Jody Nash, stated that the amount of pressure Todd had been subjected to because of their family dynamic led him to develop mental health issues that ultimately made him act the way he did. According to her, the dynamic between her father, her brother Brett, and her brother-in-law Jim Miller pressured Todd into wanting to outperform them and do anything he could to make the family business grow. Added to this, his dramatic exit from coaching soccer and finding his way into the company wasn't an easy step. His wife stated that the way his father and brother treated him created a series of emotional issues on Hitt that he would deal with on a daily basis. He was constantly underappreciated. She also went on to blame soccer for his conduct. His erratic behavior stemmed from a number of injuries he suffered while playing. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Virginia sentenced Hitt to 6.5 years in prison for creating a Ponzi scheme type of scam that resulted in the loss of more than $20 million. After soliciting over $30 million from 2014 to 2018 in real estate and venture capital investments, Hitt scammed most of his clients, stating he had more funds to his name than he actually did. He misinformed his clients by withholding crucial information about how their money would be used. Most of it went to fund his other multi-million-dollar project, current debts he had with former investors, and his lavish luxury lifestyle filled with private jets, tickets to games, and much more. Given his privileged lineage and the distinct reputation his family had in the DC area, Hitt received substantial help. A never-before-seen restitution payment, $20 million paid in full. In addition to this payment, the Hitt family agreed to pay $13.7 million in damages to compensate victims. His restitution was cause for alarm, according to prosecutors. Although he was still forced to comply with his sentence, believed it was a lower sentence partly because of his family's constant attempts for restitution. Added to that, the government stated that since he didn't directly act as an investment advisor in most of the cases, the charges were considerably lower. The only case in which he did ended up creating a $1 million loss for the parties involved, which was why the government didn't see it as a necessary measure to give a harder sentence. Hitt was barred from working in investment or the securities industry, and while his time behind bars will serve as credit, he's most likely going to have to pay a further financial restitution to victims for a yet undetermined amount. Click to watch one of these next videos. Let us know in the comments section what you'd rather do: work for your family business or work at a big corporate company.